Got a little late start tonight. A few things came up, but it's Tuesday, September 26th. And I know Ricardo's excited because we're going to talk about two of his favorite things in the world, gold and XRP. Brother, how are you doing?
Yeah, brother, fired up for this show. Uh, Gold, silver, crypto. We can't lose. And when we got the information we're sharing today with people, once again, it's just confirmation that we've been accumulating the right assets. We're in the right space. We're ahead of the time, and so yeah, we got some good information. Make sure y'all share this out.
And just to remind you guys, we are doing a 90-day run with Smart Finance, bringing you guys as much value as we possibly can. So normally we will get on around 2, but we're going to be going during the daytime a lot more than in the evening. Of course, you can always catch the replay. Go to either one of our YouTubes and see it. And then also we'll send out the replays inside the Runners app. So make sure you look down below and get that, runwithrick.com or richdaddy.org. And let's look at the broad market today, Ricardo. Nothing really too crazy. Maker up 7%. This is for the day. Link down a little bit. Nothing wild. If we pull out from the week, the big winner was Curve going up 17%. Link up 6%. Rune down 10%. But really, the markets are pretty much just really stable right now.
Yeah,
I guess
really
you could say it's
stagnant.
the calm before the storm.
Right.
And quick check-in on the asset market cap. Gold still number 1 at 1931. Apple number 2 at 176. Google at 132. Silver, the number 7 overall asset in the world at 2328. Bitcoin at 26,213. I feel like we've been here for a year.
Yeah.
27,000.
Yeah, has not been too much action.
The big news today, though, Ricardo, the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Saylor, his company MicroStrategy has acquired an additional 5,445 Bitcoin worth $147.3 million at an average price of $27,053. As of 9/24, MicroStrategy holds 158,245 Bitcoin, which costs them $4.68 billion.
Wow.
And their average price, $29,582. So he brought his dollar cost average down.
Yeah.
M.I.M.S, make it make sense why people need to pay attention to what's going right now, even though it's a bear market and the prices are down.
Yeah, I mean, that's a clue. They say follow the yellow brick road, do as they do, not as they say. And obviously the data and in their strategy is calling for buys in Bitcoin right now. And when you look at what's going on with this reset, with going around the world, with countries ditching the dollar, with everything that's going on with inflation and the Federal Reserve monetary policy and this great reset that we're in, I mean, essentially everything looks better than the dollar when you realize the future for the dollar, but especially if you're holding Bitcoin, because essentially Bitcoin is a hedge now. You can say Bitcoin is clearly a hedge against the decline of fiat currency in the dollar. And obviously MicroStrategy is making, a big acquisition here, adding to their huge position in Bitcoin, which obviously makes sense. Definitely makes sense.
Listen, if I had a
Right
couple
before the
billion,
halving.
if I had a couple billion, I would definitely buying lots of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing some reports about there's a shortage of Bitcoin because exchanges, don't really have to have Bitcoin. They only need Bitcoin if you withdraw it. So again, just a reminder, guys, make sure you're pulling your crypto off exchanges. The more we do that, the less they can manipulate and control the market.
Yeah, not your keys, not your crypto. So make sure you hold your crypto in a non-custodial, decentralized wallet.
This is the way.
Yeah.
Another big story I saw today was HSBC, one of the world's biggest banks. This is from FCF Pay. We are delighted to announce that HSBC users are eligible to pay their mortgage bills and loans with cryptocurrencies through FCF Pay. Some of the accepted cryptocurrencies you can pay with: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance Coin. They meant to say XRP here. Of course, all the
Yeah.
Ripple army destroyed them in the
Yeah.
comments. It's XRP, guys.
Right.
Um, Even Doge and Shiba
Wow.
Inu. I
It's
mean,
crazy.
talk about acceptance. So when you click on
Yeah.
this, you go to here, and I had never heard of this. Um, but FCF Pay bill payments introduces new ways to use your cryptocurrency, compatible with over 20,000 stores, credit cards, banks, vendors, auto, utilities, and more. FCF Pay makes it easy for you to pay your bills in crypto. And believe it or not, Ricardo, this is the first time I've ever seen this. This service is currently only available in the USA, but more regions will be added soon.
Wow. It's usually the opposite.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I bet we can't use this
Yeah.
in America, but
Yeah. Oh wow, that's
so
huge though. Mass adoption, folks. That's a clue right there. So a lot of these digital assets that they're allowing you to pay in right now are much cheaper than what they're going to be, months and years from now, as more and more people realize that it's better
wow.
to save their money or have their money hedged in digital assets than in fiat currency. So when you're thinking about, and obviously, did they say stable coins? I didn't say. Did they say USDT on there, or they just said Bitcoin and things like that? I think I did. They didn't say
I
stable.
didn't see a stable coin.
Yeah, but this is a beautiful thing about crypto. You can obviously have your value in a stable coin, and then when you need to swap it, convert it, exchange it for another digital asset, Bitcoin or XRP, and then go pay your mortgage. I mean, it's much better to have at this point cryptocurrency money than fiat money, especially as time goes on and more countries, more and more governments, more and more institutions are using these rails to conduct trade, commerce, business, payments, and things alike. So that's huge.
And
That's
I don't know
huge.
if you saw
Of
this,
course.
Ricardo, but look, I just went to here and like typed in Chase,
Mhm.
and look what pops up. Like Chase Auto Lease, Chase Auto Loans, Chase Commercial
Mm,
Card,
right.
Chase Home Finance LLC. So, I mean, they already have a lot of this stuff just built right in.
Ready to, yep, they're
Yeah.
ready. The system is almost ready to go, folks. All this stuff that you've been hearing in the news about Ripple with banks and central banks and institutions and businesses and partnerships and MasterCard and Visa and all this stuff. And people are wondering, well, why are we hearing all this news and we're not seeing the price of these assets rise off of this news? Because the news is just letting you know what they're putting in place. And once all the chips are in place, once all the tests have been done, when they push the button, that's it. It's not here's the news, and then you're going to see a rise in the price of the token. No, that's just letting you know that they have the capabilities and they're getting ready to. And once they start using it, because anything that's got any company that's using XRP, or they have to use a Ripple, they have to use a token. They have to buy the token. That's the gas. That's how you get stuff moved on the blockchain. So there's more value coming.
So we're gonna get into the meat of today's uh live, guys. Is, we love gold and silver, we love cryptocurrency, but how can these two things come together to bring in the new financial system? And the clues are out there, guys. You just got to put them together, and that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to be watching a video from the Bearable Bull, one of my favorite YouTubers. Guy's really funny too.
Mhm.
So he's going to kind of talk about how these clues are out there of XRP being backed by gold and bringing the new financial system into the world. Oh, 1 second. I got to change the way I'm sharing this. All right. There we go. All right. Let me know if you can hear this, Ricardo.
No.
There we go. No, Chrome tab. Okay, I got it now.
And I actually think that that's the wrong way to look at it. Too many people get the description of what I think is coming wrong. I think XRP one day will help with the transportability of tokenized gold. And after watching this video, I think all of you are going to understand that XRP could very well be a catalyst for seeing the price of gold rise as well. First off, we have this clip from the Black Swan Capitalist where he interviewed Jim Willie discussing a gold-backed XRP. Let me just say one thing. I do not believe XRP will be gold-backed, but I do believe XRP will help tokenize gold and will be used to help move that value. And the more I hear people discussing this topic, the more I really have to tell all of you about this point I'm about to make.
All right, so M.I.M.S, before we get into that, can you maybe
Yeah.
break that down for people? I'm sure that confused a lot of people.
Yeah.
The-
So yeah. Go ahead. What you about to say?
I was just saying that how he's saying it, XRP won't be backed by gold, but it will
Yeah.
be used to transfer the value when we have the
Right.
tokenization of gold.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jim Rickers talked about this as well
That's
when he
coming up.
talked about. Oh, okay. So, well, yeah. I mean, so obviously, it's not where it's, if you have one XRP token or 1,000 that you can go exchange it per se for physical gold, but XRP is the liquidity. It's what the value is going to be moved and accounted for through in XRP, and so this is something that I've heard and seen in a while, and actually you can buy gold right now with XRP as well. The same way we just showed you where you can pay your mortgage with it. There's a site where they take XRP and you can buy gold with your XRP. So there is definitely a major correlation or connection with gold and XRP. And you guys are going to kind of hear some of those details as well coming up.
Because don't forget, who buys the most gold? Banks.
Central banks. Yeah.
What's the number one cryptocurrency of banks? XRP.
XRP. Yeah.
So you just got to read between the lines. All right. So here we go.
I've been saying for a very long time, and I've always been an advocate of a digital gold standard. And Judy Shelton always talked about gold, going back to a gold standard to bring stability to the markets and fairness. So when we're talking about like XRP as an alternative, the research says it's going to be gold backed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going to do it in an unusual manner. And I cannot claim to be an expert on this, but I think what's going to happen is that the volume will increase, and at the same time, they're going to lift the price. So you can have two different factors working together to expand the market cap volume, the capability of XRP. And then when you rest, relax, and turn your back, they lift the gold price. I think XRP is going to be a key component, a key factor, and a key device for lifting the gold price.
And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I actually agree with that point as well. I think XRP could be used to help pump up the price of gold when it's time. We do know that they've been planning for having a digitized gold and easily transportable gold for a long time now. And left and right from numerous different circles, not just the XRP community, I've heard that gold is making a re-entry into our financial infrastructure. Gold-backed currencies are making their way back into the world. And before I do anything else, I have to remind you of this Bloomberg clip where they essentially tell you what the plan is gonna be. Just understand that we've been telling you what's gonna happen for years now, and we've always been one step ahead.
With central bank stimulus weakening the dollar and gold being only about $100 short of its all-time high, the question has started to arise, can gold replace the US dollar as the world's reserve currency? The dollar has enjoyed this status for decades, but since it detached itself from the gold standard in 1971, it's essentially consistently weakened.
So this is a chart we've been showing you guys for 4 or 5 years now, right? This is why you don't save in dollars. M.I.M.S, anything you want to add that, that we've seen?
Yeah. Don't save in dollars. It doesn't save value. And it's not hard to really imagine or really see that the world is going back to a gold standard, and we're going to incorporate blockchain to facilitate the mechanisms of being able to conduct trade efficiently, fast, and cheap, based off of gold. You know what I mean? Gold is still Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution. It's still money, legal tender. Around the world, gold is still money. It's what central banks, like we just talked about, have been hoarding and buying. China, Russia, they're buying and hoarding gold because they know that that is the real value. And so now all you just need is a payment rail that everybody can trust, that everybody's using, and liquidity, and that's XRP.
On a macro level, confidence in the U.S. government and the political system in the U.S. is one of the keys, and gold doesn't have that issue of a loss of confidence. But what it does have is a problem with transportability. That's why it's more likely that a currency backed in gold, or even a digital asset backed in physical gold, could potentially replace the dollar much more easily than the actual physical bar of gold could.
You see, guys, gold has always been what I like to call God's money. It's trustless money. It's real money. And we've been giving the people, the government's money, fiat money, depreciation money. There is a global shift happening right now towards a more decentralized financial approach. And at the heart of it are the BRICS nations. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa have added 6 nations in Argentina.
We've covered the BRICS, but I don't think we actually covered them since they added these new countries, did we?
No, I don't think we've done an actual show on that.
We did it right
We probably
before.
talked about it. Yeah, we probably more talked about it. But
This
BRICS
just keeps getting bigger.
Oh yeah, it's going to get much bigger, and the whole ideology, it seems like, behind BRICS is just to eliminate the dollar from the global trade and help bring stability to their economies and create more of an even playing field. And when you have Saudi Arabia and other countries now accepting oil and rupees or whatever else, once again, it's another nail in the coffin for the global dominance of the dollar and its world reserve currency status and value.
Yeah, having 3 countries that are huge oil producers and then getting more of a foothold in Africa and adding another South American country.
Yeah.
The Grim Reaper's here for the dollar. That's all I can say.
Yeah. His days are numbered.
Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. And there's been plenty of discussion by some of the highest level economists in the world about a gold-backed currency coming out for the BRICS nations that they trade in, a BRICS payment system, and in my personal opinion, with people talking about XRP helping with digitized gold, with people talking about digitized gold as a whole, we now have BRICS potentially being backed by gold. Ladies and gentlemen, gold is going to play a major role in this new financial system and whatever reset they bring to the earth in one way, shape, or form. And all I want you to understand is that we were here first, pointing it out. Every possibility is on the table. I think XRP and gold are going to be a powerful solution for real financial problems. And you don't have to listen to me say it. Jim Rickards is telling you what the big boys have already planned out.
So, all right. So this is the clip Ricardo was talking about because, he's watched everything on the internet when it comes to gold and XRP. If you guys don't know, we love Jim Rickards. He's one of, I would say, the top guys in the gold and silver space. He doesn't usually talk about crypto that much. So this was a unique clip. But I mean, guys, this is what the experts are saying and what you need to know.
What is the brick? And by the way, I don't know if they're going to call it a brick. I'm saying brick for convenience. It doesn't matter what they call it, but I just call it a brick for the time being. But they'll come up with a name. Who knows? The value of the brick is not determined with reference to any other currency. It's determined with reference to gold by weight of gold. Now, and I don't know the weight, they'll pick one, but again, it doesn't matter because it's not even, it's math, it's logic. And by the way, now we're back to Aristotle's transitive law. And this is the key. This unlocks the whole thing.
Okay, before we hear that, I just want to make sure everyone understands that, Ricardo.
Mm-hmm.
The brick currency won't necessarily be backed by gold, but it'll be like traded against or paired with a certain measurement of gold. So whereas right now, right, we have the Forex, foreign exchange, where, the US dollar trades against the yen or the British pound. So like, as long as they're all printing, everything's fine, right? Because the US dollar can go up versus the yen, but maybe down versus the Australian dollar. But as long as we're the one who sucks the least, we're okay. Well, this is a complete game changer, and he'll get into a little bit more, but anything that you want to add just to make sure people understand how big of a shift this is when it comes to currencies going against each other.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, if you take a dollar, you don't go, even though they're paired, against each other, the dollar and the euro, you don't go in and exchange your dollar, for euro. The dollar is not backed by euros. So same way XRP won't necessarily be backed by, gold, but it's like you talked about, it's a weight. So it recommends a certain weight of gold, whether it's a kilo. So this is where people get these numbers for XRP. Well, I mean, if based on the value of gold and how much fiat is out there in the system, I mean, if it's a kilo, a kilo is 60,000 right now. If it's an ounce close to 2,000 right now. So these are the type of, because like you said, nobody knows exactly for sure, but it's just math and it's just logic. And these are the type of options that are on the table. But once again, it makes sense because you do have to understand that for years, central banks have been accumulating more and more gold through any time period in history. Central banks have been buying, governments have been holding and buying more gold than they ever have in any period in time in history. Okay. And so obviously they're holding all this gold for a reason. Now they're setting up the new financial system, figuring out how they're going to be able to conduct trade and commerce on a global scale. Okay. Without having to actually physically move all this gold. And I think this is where he talks about it, but the gold doesn't have to necessarily move. A third party custody, maybe in Switzerland, holds the gold and everything is tracked on the blockchain. And if they want to settle up on the gold, at the end of a quarter or a year, then they'll ship it. But the blockchain is there. XRP is there to be able to, make gold easier to be able to do trade and conduct business and transferability and things of that nature.
I mean, even think about it, even if it was backed by or, correlated to a gram of gold, that's still what, 60, 70 bucks these days?
Yeah.
So it doesn't even have to be an ounce.
Even
It could just literally be a gram. I mean, imagine if a dollar was just backed by 1 gram of gold. That would change everything in our entire economy for the last 40, 50 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So XRP at a gram, we're talking about XRP at what, 60, 70, $80 from 50 cents.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Because Aristotle said, if A equals B equals C, then A equals C. The B can drop out. It's not even arithmetic. It's logic. It's called the transitive law. I'm certain that Aristotle invented it. If any Greek scholars know an earlier source, let me know. So what the BRICS have done is they have dodged the biggest bullet, the thing that caused Bretton Woods ultimately to fail, the thing that potentially stands in the way of all this. They've defined their currency by weight of gold. Now, a weight of gold has a dollar value, right? So A equals B equals C. 1 brick equals 1, could be an ounce or a kilo, it doesn't matter. Call it an ounce. 1 brick equals 1 ounce of gold equals today 1970. Okay. Well, through the transitive law, drop out the B, and 1 brick equals 1970, $1,970. But that's constant. I mean, that logic works for a moment in time, but it's not fixed because the price of gold is going to fluctuate daily or minute by minute, right? So what's going to happen is the dollar gold, call it exchange rate, the dollar price of gold. So the LBMA, the COMEX, the London Metals Exchange, JP Morgan unallocated forward contracts, the whole huge gold market in dollars is still going to exist. In fact, the BRICS want it to exist. And if I could just digress for 1 minute, Steph, I've never seen an international monetary economic problem with more, that has created more confusion. I won't say misinformation, that's a little trite, but just confusion or maybe deliberate hyperbole than this one. Because let me tell you what this is not. I'm going to tell you what it is, but it's important to know what it's not. This is not the petro yuan. This is not the petro ruble. This is not a gold-backed yuan. This is not a gold standard. This is not the end of the US dollar. It's not the end of the euro. It's not the end of the world. It's not any of those things, but that's what everyone's running around on websites or whatever shouting about. It's none of those things. In fact,
and I couldn't agree there more with Jim. And we say this all the time, Ricardo, is I don't believe there's going to be some crazy end of the world thing. It will be just like a frog in boiling water, and just slowly but surely, the value of the dollar will keep declining because we're creating more of it. And our debt is in, $33 trillion.
Yeah, no, the dollar won't go away. It's just that what you're going to be able to purchase with it. Same thing in Venezuela or Weimar, Germany. The currency's still around. It's just that you need a whole lot of it to be able to, buy anything. You need thousands of dollars to, as a grocery bill. The dollar's not going anywhere in that aspect as far as like just getting wiped out, but the purchasing power of the dollar is definitely done. But things will still be priced in dollars. It's just like Zimbabwe. They have $1 trillion Zimbabwe note. Well, it's not impossible that you can see the same thing happen to other fiat currencies, and the US dollar is just that. It's a fiat currency. We're the most indebted nation in the world in human history. And the dollar is, it'll be around, but things will be priced in it, but you won't be able to. Who's going to have that type of money? What is it going to buy you? I should say.
Yeah, you'll be like, hey, I'm going to go and get a Coke, Dad. Can I get $100? That could happen.
Yeah. Right.
In fact, quite the opposite. And this is where the Russian mentality comes in. The BRICS want the dollar to be around. They want the dollar gold market to exist because they get the free ride. The dollar has to do all the dirty work in the gold space, and BRICS get the free ride by declaring 1 brick equal to a weight of gold. Again, weight's the key. They just let the dollar gold market go wherever it goes, and the brick is worth an ounce or whatever, kilo, whatever. And the dollar equivalent under the transitive law changes, but they're not pegged to the dollar. They're not fighting that fight. So this, I analogize this. It's like you're in your house, in the backyard, your landscaper is like digging trenches and putting in plants and sweating and doing all this work. And you're sitting there with a glass of iced tea, enjoying the view. In other words, the BRICS get to free ride on the dollar gold system. And they want that system. They don't want it to go away because they get the benefit of a gold value. Now think of what the BRICS don't have to do in this scenario. They don't have to buy gold. They don't even have to own gold. They do, but no one in the world has enough gold to back a currency. This currency, the brick, will not be redeemable into gold. Now, maybe there's a dealer somewhere who will take it. That's between you and the dealer. But it's not like you're going to be able to march down to the People's Bank of China with a pile of bricks and say, give me the gold. They're not going to do it. So it's not redeemable. They're not going to make a market. They're not going to maintain a value because they don't have to, because it's by weight. They just get to sit back and piggyback on the dollar gold system and let the dollar do all the dirty work with one twist. And here's the Russian contribution. So, so you don't have to close your capital account. You can close it, open it, whatever. You don't have to buy gold. You don't have to make a market. You don't even need that much gold. You just say, this is the ultimate fiat currency. The word fiat in Latin means I say so. Well, they say so, and there it is. And they put the United States, they're basically, Steph, this is a bet. This is a bet that the dollar is going to collapse against gold over time. Over time. I think that's a very good bet.
Now that right there, my friends, is exactly why I wanted you to listen to Rickards.
M.I.M.S, your take on that?
Yeah, no, I mean, Jim, I think, you know, I've adopted that philosophy and understood that as well. You know, gold has a role regardless. And we know blockchain has a role in crypto. And then when we realize what XRP is doing, the connections, the relationships, the purpose of it, it's a no brainer. And what we're doing is we're just documenting it and seeing what's, showing people, on a consistent basis, the developments that are taking place. But the key thing is, like he said, it's not necessarily backed by gold, but it's by the weight. You know, and once again, what have we always said? Measure your wealth in ounces.
Ooh.
You know, it's not about the dollar amount. You know, when we're talking about weight, we're talking about get your weight up. So when I'm sitting here with two 100-bar bricks right behind me here, you see what I'm saying? You value your wealth in ounces and weight. You know what I'm saying? Not in the dollar amount, because the dollar amount fluctuates. It's irrelevant. But the hedge is that the asset, the gold, the silver, will rise in value against the declining value of the dollar. And so now when BRICS is conducting trade and settlement, they're saying, well, it's not about the dollar price of gold or silver. It's about how, the weight of it. You see what I'm saying? And they're going based off the weight, and they're letting the over time, the gold and the silver is going to be worth more regardless, because the dollar is going to continue to be worth less.
I mean,
it's an account for the inflation. It's a hedge.
Let's just call it like it is. The BRICS are geniuses. Okay. Like Rickard said in that thing is, we're the guys out in the yard doing all the hard work, and they're sitting in there drinking their lemonade, watching us sweat. And, this is sadly an American last presidency that we have in here right now. Until something changes, I think we're going to continue to lose, and you have to go against the mainstream narrative. You have to get it into, like we talk about, real physical gold and silver, the ISO 20022 tokens. We didn't even get a chance to talk about XLM, but XRP, XLM, HBAR, Quant, we're going to be talking about those a lot when it comes here on Tuesday. That is all we have time for today. Quick reminder, just so you guys know, again, we're going live every single day during the day, not during the evening. I've already done everything I need to do today, so it's nice being able to relax and focus on other things. So we'll see you guys tomorrow, Wednesday at 12 noon for Wealth Wednesday. And again, if you guys missed this and you want to catch up on it, just go to our YouTubes, and you can always catch the replays of any of these lives. So if you are at work right now, just watch it, on the way home, or whenever you get a second, while you're folding the clothes or doing the dishes or whatever you're doing. Any last words, M.I.M.S?
Yeah, so look, XRP, get you some XRP. Obviously, you can get it on Coinbase, most centralized exchanges now, but don't leave it on Coinbase. Put it in your non-custodial decentralized wallet. Obviously, you guys should know about gold and silver already. On a global international central bank, scale, they're definitely using gold, but the people's money is silver. The major opportunity is in physical silver. The type of gains that you're going to experience holding physical silver will surpass those in gold. Silver is way more undervalued. There's less available above ground silver. It's an industrial metal. It's way more used. So definitely keep stacking. Have a greater ratio of silver than you will have gold, in my opinion. But either way, you can't go wrong. Look, lace up. Let's get wealthy.
All right. Peace, guys. We'll see you.